Greetings, friends, and welcome to another classic WoW Hunter video. I am Zera. I'm your host. Let's dive right into this. So this is a video that a lot of people have been excited about. I myself have invested probably close to 100 hours testing and retesting and doing all kinds of stuff. So what this video is about, in a nutshell, is the Wind Serpents from Zul Gurub. Are they good? Are they better, potentially better than the cats and, you know, all the other stuff in between? I've got macros for you. I've got the best place to level their loyalty levels, macros to feed them, macros for them to stay in one place while using lightning breath, the whole 9 yards. So, the best thing for us to do is just dive right on in head first. And the first thing that I want us to discuss is going to be the idea of using the opportunity to roll into ZG, solo, tame one of these bad boys ourselves. So as you can tell from the footage, this is pretty self-explanatory. You just grab somebody that's going to let you into your group, make a raid out of it, run in, follow the path that you see here. It's very, very easy. I have had no problems getting here. Save your scatter shot for when you get into the water. When you jump into the water, tab target, boom, hit the fish with scatter shot. You'll jump up. You probably won't take hardly any damage, if any at all. Now, when you get up to this platform, you go on a Fiend Death. Now, the Sons of Hakkar and there's serpents up there. You need to just try and avoid those as best you can. There's a couple of places here where you can kind of just chill. You can either stay in Fiend Death, which is what I recommend, and there's also other places where you can just, you know, run to the very edge of the cliff or the very edge of the platform, and they'll de-aggro you because they won't be able to get a path to you. So, it's however you want to do it. I just stay in Fiend Death here, wait till one path away, get up, run between Crocs and the Berserkers. You'll be scot-free. Make your way up the platform, stand still, and kind of just keep an eye out for when a sun comes out there by itself. Mark it, that way you don't lose it, and then when it comes in the line of fire, open up a concussive shot. Of course, you'll preemptively drop your freeze trap, pull the concussive shot, make sure you pull it far enough back to where the sun's not going to aggro something or body pull something while you're trying to tame it. Hit beast tame, easy day. Now, the question on whether or not, you know, Wind Serpent is actually any good or not, well, there's a couple of things to look at here. And then first of all, let's just start with loyalty level. So the best place to level your loyalty level for a Wind Serpent, and in point of fact, any pet that is, you know, in their low to mid 50s, I would say this is going to work amazingly well, not only for their experience, but also for their loyalty level. The pet's loyalty level is not just dependent on how much experience it gains while under your control, but it's also dependent on how much time that a pet spends with you. So for a prime example, between, you know, rank 1 and rank 2 of loyalty, there's 5% experience of your base experience for your next level. Now, of course, you don't have a next level at level 60. So whatever that 5% would be to go from 60 to 61 is how much experience you would need to gain. I'm not 100% sure if there is a weak aura to track this. I'm sure there probably is. I'm going to see if I can work on it and see if I can design it myself. However, for rank 2 from rank 1 requires 0 amount of time. So as long as your pet is content or happy and you've killed at least, you know, 5% of your base experience level, your pet's going to ding to rank 2. And then, of course, the 5% base experience doesn't change from loyalty rank to loyalty rank, but the amount of time your pet needs to spend with you does change. So from rank 2 to rank 3 is 30 minutes. From rank 3 to rank 4 is 45 minutes, and then so on and so forth. It's stair steps from 0 to 30 to 45 to 60 to 90 minutes from rank 5 loyalty to rank 6 loyalty. Now, is it necessary to have max loyalty for a Wind Serpent? I mean, yes and no. I'll be honest with you. I've found the most success abilities like max rank lightning breath, max rank bite, and max rank dive, and then max rank stamina and max rank fire resistance. However, the thing is that when it comes to, and I'll pull up the training so y'all guys can see it, the idea that having max rank fire resistance isn't really necessary. And here's the reason why. Because you already get a good chunk of fire resistance for your pet just from wearing tier gear. So I believe tier 1, and I'll put it up here if I'm wrong, tier 1 is going to be 40 fire resistance, 40 resistance of everything. And of course tier 2 will be 60 FR for everything. So, or 60 resistances to every base magic. So you're talking about between your rank 4 and rank 3 fire resistances or any other magic resistance for your pet is a difference of 30 points. So on your best days, you're talking about 150 resistance out of the gate if you go max FR. Not saying you couldn't, not saying you shouldn't, but for me personally, I've never had any issues, especially in places like BWL, where you can roll into Ubers real quick with your pet and say, hey, you know, give me the FR buff off of the Scar Shield Spellbinder, and voila, you're good to go. Your pet's got another 80 plus fire resistance. So even with tier 1, and my pet has 40 FR, then you move into the, you know, that's from the tier set, and then he has another, was it 90 FR? Yeah, has another 90 FR from rank 3, so that's 130 fire resistance. And you slap on another 80 from the buff and Ubers, and that's 210, or is it, yeah, 210. So now you're talking about having 210 FR on a pet, and now you could do things such as put him, you know, make sure you're a group with a paladin, give him Aura of Shaman to give him FR Aura or FR resistance totems, and then you've also got things where you can put Juju's Ember on your pet, which is another 10 or 15 fire resistance. So there's ways to get around your pet having north of 220, 225 fire resistance without even breaking a sweat. So there's going to be little to no reason, in my opinion, to spend the extra 45 points to give your pet max rank fire resistance, because you're talking about 45 training points just for that 30 additional FR. I'd say value your points here and put 45 points into fire resistance. And the same thing goes with max rank dive. I think the fact that the Wind Serpent can actually hit from range, it can open up its rotation further away, I say that it's actually worth stepping down from rank 3 dive to rank 2 dive. The difference is 20% movement speed. Not a big deal, especially since your Wind Serpent's going to be able to open up from range regardless. Now, max rank Lightning Breath, max rank Bite, those are no-brainers. Your pet's going to have that if you plan on using this in PvE. And as far as like using the Wind Serpent in just range purposes, we'll get to that in a minute. But looking at this, you're also going to be giving your pet max rank stamina. Now, the reason why max rank stamina is so clutch here, and I normally wouldn't do this for any other pet, but it would appear that the multipliers, and I'll put that up for the Wind Serpent here, the multipliers for the Wind Serpent favor their health more than cats do, which means that your Wind Serpent can be a little bit more damage absorbent in a raid setting, which is always nice. So now we've gone over training points, we've gone over loyalty levels, we've gone over all that. Let's actually get into the nitty-gritty. So looking at the Warcraft logs, and again, I'll put these up on the screen for you. And we're going ahead and just show you guys the Warcraft logs so you can see what I'm looking at. Right here you can see that, you know, these logs for some reason got split up, but they're the exact same encounter. You look at the timestamp, like one's at 12:12 a.m. and this one's at 12:15. I don't know why these got split up, but whatever. You're talking about a minute 36 and 7:45. It's quite literally like, you know, 9.5, anywhere between 9 and 10 minutes, which is what I was going for the rotation. And then the cats is, you know, just shy of 10 minutes. So these are the exact same length. So total damage done with melee, bite, and lightning breath. The Wind Serpent did 3.8k here in 90 seconds. And here it did 18.7k in 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So you're talking about a grand total of basically 22.5k total damage. Rolling over to the cat using claw, bite, and melee, it does a grand total of 25.3k in 9 minutes and 57 seconds. Now let me go ahead and just pull up a calculator because, again, I'm a fair fella. I'll pull this up. 9.57, so 9 times 60 plus 57 is 597 seconds. So 597 seconds. For the pet to do 25.3k damage. We roll over to here, and the Wind Serpent did it in 96 seconds plus plus 45 seconds is 141. 7 times 60 plus 141, 561 seconds. So, in 561 seconds, the Wind Serpent did 22.5k damage, and in 597 seconds, the cat did 25.3k damage. Now, is that extra 36 seconds more going to account for the additional 2.8k difference in damage that the cat did? You know what? Actually, let's actually do that. In a 597 second fight. 597 second fight. 36 seconds is what we're going to take off. So let's actually take 36 and divide that by 597. That is 6%. 6% of the damage done. So at 25.3k times 0.94, 23.78k damage. 23.78k damage. So, if, like I said, if the math works out in my favor, and I'd like to think that I'm doing this right, you're talking about 23.78k damage from a cat in the exact same time frame that the Wind Serpent did 22.5k damage. I don't know. You're throwing both pets in the melee range, letting them both do their thing. The cat's got claw or bite or both. Wind Serpent's got bite and lightning breath, because there's never a situation where you want to do one without the other, because they have like a really perfect. I mean, if you actually watch it, it's kind of a beautiful thing. Bite with lightning breath is a beautiful synergy. Bite's going to absorb 35 focus before the lightning breath absorbs 50 focus, but lightning breath is going to have the chance to get off one time during that 10-second cooldown of bite, and it's just a perfect balancing act. I've never seen a cat or any other pet in the game have perfect synergy with two abilities at the same time. I thought it was freaking gorgeous how it worked that way. So I don't do what you want. That's basically what I'm getting at. Do what you want. My honest opinion on this matter, and I've got Warcraft logs from Raid the other night. Let me see if I can pull those up for you. And while I'm looking at them, I can kind of just walk you guys through this. The thing with the pets when it comes to raiding, and I've talked to Six about this, I've reached out to a couple other big name hunters about this, and we all basically agree on the same thing. Not every raid boss is going to be conducive to you having 100% time on your pet. It's just not going to be able to work. It's not going to happen. Either you're going to keep pulling your pet in and out to avoid certain mechanics to keep your pet alive so he can do more damage further into the fight, or your pet, no matter what you do, your pet's just going to die instantly. That happens. Crap goes wrong. Nobody's perfect. No guild is perfect every single raid run. It just doesn't happen. Human error is a thing. Sometimes raid bosses just do what they want to do. The algorithm, the calculator for threat generation, whatever, crap hits the fan, and when it does, it's usually our pets that pay the price. So, that being the case, all things being equal, you're going to use a pet based on your overall use case. If your use case is just open world, and then you go raid 2-3 times a week, ZG, BWL, MC, Oni, and you're not pushing the limits, you're not trying to really go for the distance when it comes to DPS, you're not trying to parse that legendary pink or whatever, then use whatever pet you want. If you want to use the Wind Serpent because you can use it on fights like Broodlord, or you can use it on fights like, Fire Maul, well, your pet doesn't necessarily have to be in melee range. It can just use Lightning Breath, and of course I had the macro for that as well. You can do all of that. It won't be nearly as much damage as it could be, should be, whatever. You're going to leave a lot of damage on the table because Lightning Breath is minuscule compared to its base melee attack. But, if that's what you want to do, go for it. You're not a hardcore gamer or a hardcore raider. You're not on a try-hard guild. Play whatever the frack pet you want. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, because this game is about having fun. Now, when it comes to actual raw output, you're trying to put out as much damage on your end as humanly possible, then the cat is still going to be your best bet. The damage multiplier does not lie. The numbers don't lie. They're never going to change. The cat is the better option. And furthermore, there's things that you can do to buff all your pets, but in the case of a cat or a wolf or an owl or anything else, a lot of their abilities, claw, bite, so on and so forth, they all deal physical damage, which means that things like Juju's Might, Juju's Power, Scrolls of Strength, and Scrolls of Agility, those are going to buff your pet's total damage. Whereas in the case of a Wind Serpent, it's going to lose out because the Lightning Breath deals spell power damage, which your pet is not able to have buffed. I've tested it. You can have as much buffs on your pet as humanly possible. Lightning Breath will not gain a benefit from those buffs. So at the end of the day, your cat, even though it's only a difference of basically 2.8k in total damage over the span of a 9-10 minute fight, that gap is going to increase even wider, because while the Serpent's bite and melee attacks can get buffed, the cat's melee, bite, and claw can all be buffed as well. Especially if your pet opens up a fight and prowl. That's a pretty big brain thing. I may need to start doing that, because you're talking about leaving 50 damage on the table, which is really, really nice. So, I mean, there's ways to buff the cat's damage in ways that you can't do with the Wind Serpents. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys as always, and I hope to see you on the stream tonight or tomorrow. I'm not really sure if I'm streaming tonight. May not. I think the wife wants to spend some time with me. But certainly I'll see you guys tomorrow night in the raid. Love you guys as always. I'm Zera, and I'm signing out.